Wake up feeling joy and like your best self each day. My next guest says all it takes is a little confidence. Studio 5 parenting contributor Heather Johnson is talking directly to all you moms and nanas. She'll help you raise your self-esteem so that you can feel content and confident in your role. Welcome back, Heather. Good to have you. Good to see you again.
Yes.
It's been a minute. Okay, so what is confidence in the context of parenting and grandparenting? What does that mean?
Well, it means that when we wake up every day, we trust that we can do it.
Yeah.
Is really what it means, right? That we wake up and we trust in our abilities and our capacities. And even more than that, it means that we can manage whatever emotions we're going to experience that day. That's being confident, right? So that whatever hits us, right? We get up and we think a day's going to go a certain way and then it doesn't.
Yeah.
And we know we can handle that. Or it does and we know that we're great with that. That's that capacity to trust and believe and feel okay about the fact that we can show up.
Okay,
That's being confident.
You kind of mentioned it there. You wake up, I think we all want to get up and feel like it's going to go that way. So what does get in the way and prevents us from feeling that way?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. One, the way we talk to ourselves is always going to get in the way of us being confident as a mom or as a grandmother. If our self-talk is negative, if we're telling ourselves we're overwhelmed or we can't do it or we don't have capacity, that's going to get in the way. Another huge thing that gets in the way is anytime we let other people's choices decide if we're going to be confident, we are in trouble. If I let whatever our kids do and their choices decide if I can be confident today, if I'm a grandmother and I let grandchildren or my grown children decide their choices dictate if I can be confident, that is going to get in the way of our confidence. Confidence doesn't have any external qualifications. It's my ability to trust in myself, not necessarily or not at all what other people do. So that's going to get in the way. When we compare, it's going to get in the way.
Sure.
When there's judgment, those things are going to get in the way. If we feel like in the past we haven't done a very good job, that self-talk, that's going to get in the way again. So there's a lot of those things, right, that are going to make it really hard to wake up and go, okay, I can handle this today. I'm confident in my capacity, ability to handle whatever's thrown at me. We want that. We want that as a grandmother. We want that as a mom.
I feel that way when I get up and I feel confident until something happens with my child and then I start self-doubting. Am I doing this right? Can I do this again day after day? Yeah, that comes in really quick. Okay, so you're going to give us 5 ways that we can be more confident as a parent, as a grandparent. So let's start with this first one, and it's about questions.
It is. We're going to ask a confident question. So imagine,
To ourselves?
To ourselves. Imagine if we asked ourselves, what would I do if I was more confident? If that was the question that we asked ourselves. Now remember, whatever question we ask our brain, it will answer. So that's a really cool thing about how we think. So if I were to ask, what would I do if I was more confident? We're going to take whatever the answers are, and that's our new to-do list. So for example, maybe we're sitting at school, we're watching our kids do something, and we ask ourselves, what would I do if I was more confident? And the answer is, well, I would go talk to that woman, or I would have a difficult conversation with that teacher, or I would trust that I know what's good for my child. That then is my to-do list, to go sit by the woman, have the conversation with the teacher, and then believe in my ability to handle and make decisions as a mom.
So does it always have to be an actionable item?
What will happen is it will be actionable for the most part, right? It will lead us to do something. The answers to the question. And again, whatever question we ask. So when we ask that question, we don't have to wonder what to do. And here's where we get confused. We spend a lot of time trying to figure out what the behavior or what we should be doing. We want to spend more time deciding what we should be thinking, and then what we do will manifest itself. It will show itself. And that's a really good place to start. Ask that confidence question. What would I do if I was more confident? As a grandmother, what would I do if I was more confident? And then whatever the answer is, go do that. Write that down on your to-do list.
I love it.
And get it done.
Ask it in your mind. You don't have to ask out loud. So you
exactly
can just
right.
ask it to yourself.
Yep.
Okay, this next one, reality check. Have a reality check.
Yes, to recognize what's actually happening. Now, what we think is reality is that when we're going places or doing things as a mom or a grandmother, that everyone is judging and watching us. No. In reality, they're really busy and really worried about everyone judging them. There's not actually any extra energy or space for them to worry as much about us as we think people are. And so when we have that little bit of a reality check to remind ourselves, you know what, everybody isn't judging me all the time. They're not watching all the time.
Me.
They're not analyzing my children and then deciding if I'm a good enough mom or a good enough grandmother. Why? Because they're actually worried what we're thinking about them. They're worried about how they look in a situation. So there isn't extra space or time for them to give us. We tend to think and make everything about us so quick, and it's not. So we want to take that step back. We also can ask some other questions or work with our self-talk When we take our what if questions, which we ask all the time, what if I was a better mom? What if I figured this out? What if I could? And instead of having those what if questions be negative, we made them positive.
Okay.
Right? What if instead of asking, what if I don't do it right? Or what if they don't like me? We instead asked, what if we became friends? Or what if I can handle this? Or what if I do have the insight? That's a very different question. We ask a lot of what if questions in our minds, and they tend to usually be negative, which then hurts us. I can't be confident if I'm constantly questioning my capacity.
What if I am capable of this?
That's exactly right. What if I am capable? And again, what if I can have this relationship? What if I can have that hard conversation with that teenager?
Oh, that's a good one. And so many times you're right. So many times I think the negative, instead I could just say, what if I could do this?
What if I could?
What if I could be the teen mom? What if I could fulfill that thing I've been asked to do?
And now we have, again, the confidence. Now we're talking to ourselves in ways that says,
ooh, I just
hey,
got this burst of confidence.
Let's go give that a shot, right?
I like that. Okay, this kind of goes along with this too. What about letting go of being the best? Like, you don't have to be the best.
We don't have to. And here's where we don't understand confidence. We think that to be confident, we have to be the best. That confident people, to be a confident mother or grandmother means I do everything just right, I'm the best, I navigate everything perfectly. Confidence is not about being the best. Remember, confidence isn't tied to any external circumstances. Confidence is managing our emotions regardless of the circumstances. So it isn't about being the best. Confidence is having grace. Confidence is knowing that when it goes wrong, I can negotiate that. That is actual confidence. So when we pull it back and go, okay, this is an emotional management space, instead of thinking I have to execute perfectly, which, by the way, none of us will ever do.
Yeah.
So if that's a requirement for confidence, we'll never make it. We will never make it.
Don't you think, too, confidence comes from being comfortable in that, too? I have found as I've gotten older, I have been more comfortable in saying that I don't have to be the best at that.
That it's okay,
That
right?
it's okay that I don't need to be the best at that.
Absolutely. And that's where, again, we have to manage. It doesn't mean that we don't see spaces where we fall short.
Sure.
It doesn't mean we feel uncomfortable less. We still feel those things. It's that we're comfortable taking care of or managing whatever we do feel. So we can go into any new situation and be confident with whatever shows up. That's confidence. So we want to make sure that we understand that.
And there's a reward in that, I gotta tell you. When you get to that point, you think, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
This last one, control. Control, you can.
Yes, we can't. And so we're going to worry about what we can control and let go of everything that we can't. Imagine the confidence boost that we get when we just worry about the things we can control. And we let the other things belong to the people they belong to. Let them have those experiences. Let them go through those challenges. Let them judge. Let them do those things instead of pulling it in and deciding I've got to control everything. We try to control because it helps us manage those emotions, right? Anxiety, for example, when we have control over things, we think it helps us manage that anxiousness. If I can control everything, I can show up as a best mom or a best grandmother. Instead, we want to say, wait, I'm only going to put energy into the things I can control. And the rest, I'm going to let other people negotiate. If we can do these small things, it's unbelievable what happens, again, in our minds, and that confidence boost is huge. So that then we can find ourselves handling things in ways that we are really comfortable with, not because we handle them perfectly, but because we have the confidence to go ahead and give them a shot. It's a huge shift. It makes us feel really great.
I like just having this conversation. I'm gleaming these little things that I'm feeling just even better thinking about them, and just taking a moment to think, I don't have to, having the reality check, I don't have to be the best at everything. I can pick and choose those moments to have the what if, and recognize that, you know what, I don't have to be the best at everything, and recognize that, you know what, I'm just gonna pick and choose these moments, right? Heather, I love these conversations with you. I need to come back more often to Studio 5. Thank you for this. You're helping us all become better parents and grandparents, and we love these conversations, so thank you. Heather is wonderful. Heather counsels families and individuals. You can find her contact information on the Studio 5 website, so go check it out. Heather, you're the best.